Call the meeting to order.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to close that door. Yeah, I'll get it. Thanks, sir. I only seen one thing on the second page. It didn't read right.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta back up. First page. Last paragraph. Commissioner Shealy didn't think it was not good practice. Do you want to put
Says
a
not
good
good.
practice?
Oh, good. Okay.
It was a double negative there. And then the next line down, it says Commissioner Earl said that
We'll
the
have.
county will have. Should be like,
I didn't think it was.
we'll have to pay for the
Find
911
it.
system.
Says that.
You talking about up there?
I'm talking about right. It just didn't read right to
Well,
me.
I
It didn't
misspelled
sound
good
right.
on the very last sentence too.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Yeah,
And then down below where he's talking
Take
about
good
it should be the
practice.
county
Okay.
should pay.
yeah. Then they just cut that one.
County will have to pay. How about county?
Mm-hmm.
That's well. I thought there was a mistake on the second page, but that was about 2000 or 2012. The board refinanced, but on down here it said it went from 3.6 to 2.6.
Yeah,
So-
that was the earlier.
So that was earlier, so I crossed that out. But
Third,
that,
I got the third paragraph. Interim, misspelled. It's on third paragraph on first page.
Oh.
Where Smallback, who was interim, it's interim.
oh yes.
Then you guys caught those two. See if there's something else.
There was another thing I was going to ask about the spelling, but I'm not the best speller. Incur. How do you spell incur? I think that was. It didn't look right to me.
Which
Sure.
one?
We're said about incurred.
Encourage?
Incurred. Incur.
Like incurred debt would be.
INCURR.
I think you missed an R.
Oh.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's the first line of the second page. But it's had to incur last year. It also says Mr. Edgar's.
Sorry,
Edgar.
Mr. Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
That's two places.
That's it.
there.
Yes. That's it. That was it.
So where's the end?
There's one there and there's one in the bottom. Right there.
Yeah.
And then it's again in the very last line.
Edgar.
It's everywhere his name is, it's got an S in
Oh.
it.
Well, I got it spelled right down here.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's.
I got it spelled right once.
And here's the,
I believe that was all I seen.
Where's the ink? The one that you were talking about, the incurred.
Second page, top sentence. Or maybe it's the last page. It's where you got your names at the bottom of the paper.
oh. Incurred.
Oh. Incurred. Okay.
Any other changes, commissioners? Questions, comments?
Do you want to do one motion for both that and the resolution? We've got the resolution to approve
Okay.
as written too. That was attached.
Yeah.
Say that V County. will
Better
have
do
to pay-
separate, hadn't we?
Sure.
Motions.
Mm-hmm.
With those corrections, is there any other questions, comments, or corrections to be made?
Mhm.
If seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve as changes being made.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now we have the resolution.
That you've already done. I
We've
just
already did
attached-
this?
Yeah. You did that one.
That was attached for the
That's
Okay,
the attachment that goes with the map.
okay. Very good. Anybody have any committee reports?
I had no committee reports. I would like to thank all the first responders for responding to the issue we had on Friday at MGP. I thought everybody worked very well, and the 800 megahertz system seemed like it worked and performed as needed. So I'm very glad that we have that system in place.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the people involved. You know, we had volunteer fire, we had Samana County ambulances show up, and glad there was no loss of life.
Exactly.
I'll third that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that, from the first reports that we've been getting to the way it turned out, I think we were very lucky that we didn't have mass casualties like the rumors had it. So, sounds like things worked reasonably well.
Okay. Greg's not on the agenda. Is it very lengthy, or you want to?
No, just some questions.
Okay, you want to come forth because we're running 5 to 10 minutes ahead of time.
Would you want to come on up now that we're
We're
Filming
being
now.
taped, so
we're being taped? And I was a thing that Wes said there that when people are in the back of the room, it makes us look like we're talking to ghosts, you know.
Okay.
So
First question I have, there's a new school bus pickup route there on 258th Road in Sumner Cemetery. Who puts those signs up?
Road and Bridge Superintendent Seth Howard.
Right there, the road that goes down to Ronnie Sturton's. They pick up 2 kids there now. And I was called and told that there's almost an accident already. Trucks coming around there or whatever, but the bus was there. They didn't know about it.
Okay, Ronnie Sturton lives west of Sherman, doesn't he?
Yeah, 258th West, right there where the Southern Arena used to be.
Oh, you said
The
cemetery.
road- Yeah, the road that goes down to him.
Okay, I follow you, but you said cemetery, but okay,
well,
arena.
Used to be a pickup there too, but
Oh.
that's not real. I mean, where they kind of know that one, but he's just on that curve coming up that hill.
So we need to get a sign put there.
I guess they'd almost had an accident
Pardon me?
That's a township.
Oh, that's townships.
Sorry,
on the bus.
or I'm aware of any sign on the
I
township.
didn't think we had anything to do with the school buses.
You're saying any signage on a township road is township responsibility?
Everything
You-
except for speed limits and weight limit signs, I believe. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. Pat, you got any input?
I don't know, and I don't know
I
what the
put the
history's
speed
been.
limit signs up. I mean, I bought speed limit signs and put them up. I didn't think I had to do the schools, because, I mean, that's more of a school and a county deal, not mine.
Well, the school district does them. I don't know that do they approve them with, do they ask you for approval or anything, or?
So the school district's never done them. We've always placed them when they've asked us to place them. Like this year, I got a list of ones and we put them on the county roads, but I didn't do anything on the townships. So it's one of those fine lines on who does the signs in their districts. I mean, I've never put signs in the township's roadway, so usually all the signs go towards the townships on their own roads. But like the weight of the sign,
You said speed limit signs, the counties too?
that's one of those ones, it just depends on how it's been done in the past. I mean, I read in an article that some counties maintain all regulatory signs and the townships do everything else. Here, I still haven't figured out who does what on those.
Well, I'll put my 2 cents. It might be right or wrong. I would hate to lose a child over a $50 sign. So what if the county would furnish the sign and it's responsibility of the township to put them up? I wouldn't say, well, we'd have that many bus. Of course, I guess every house would be a bus stop. So I don't know.
potential, but that's
Yeah, potential.
I can put them up, ain't no problem, put them up.
Voice your opinion, guys.
I mean, I'll put a speed limit sign up down there on 262nd Road like you wanted. Now Pleasant never put theirs up.
Well, we got all parties here. We got the road and bridge, we got the township trustee, and we got the commissioners. Let's make some kind of decision.
Do we have any signs of those signs?
After I ran out.
Who's buzzing? You?
I think it was me.
I mean, if we wanna do that, we need to notify all townships we're willing to do that for them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because I do get the list from the schools, and I let them decide where they want their, stops to be or their dangerous intersections.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put them at every house just because that would cost us a fortune. I put them at their dangerous.
That's where we're going to have to watch, and we're going to have to put some kind of dangerous in there, or potentially dangerous, or
And I don't know how long these kids are gonna get picked up. It falls back onto his son or grandson or whatever, and now they got the custody of them kids. So,
Now, once, say, if you put a sign up, do we ever collect those and reuse them?
well, yeah.
Take them, actually put them and put them
Yeah,
somewhere else?
I mean, I would, there ain't nobody there anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, have we been doing that, or does it get done?
There in the past, I don't believe so, because I've seen multiple signs that you can barely read anymore. I have school bus stop ahead on them.
I've done it with children playing signs.
With this new grant coming, they're on all those type of signs. They're gonna be getting back with me when they find one, and I will contact the school districts and make sure there is still a stop there or kids being picked up there. If not, we're gonna pull it. And with this new system, we're tracking all those, so each year we'll reevaluate those signs, and if nobody's being picked up there, we'll pull them.
this isn't the central stop like where they pick up more than one. It's just Ronnie's
It's two kids,
two kids, Ronnie's grandchildren.
in the morning and drop them off in the afternoon. I mean, it just brought to my attention last week, so.
Mm-hmm. I'd err on the side of caution myself, and if we have a sign, go ahead.
Well, I did find under the statute, the KSA 8-2001 gives local authorities the authority to adopt into place traffic control devices, signs, and that local authorities is defined in the statute to include the Kansas Turnpike Authority in every city, county, and other local board or body having authority to adopt ordinances or regulations relating to vehicular traffic under the construction and laws of this, or under the Constitution and laws of this state. Kansas Attorney General opinion has 90-162 says that a township does not have constitutional or statutory authority to adopt ordinances or regulations relating to vehicular traffic. So therefore, they're not a local authority that has the authority to erect traffic control devices, either with or without county approval. So it's the county's responsibility to do it. So you're correct.
I didn't know. I mean, I have put up
I didn't either.
speed limits and
Mhm.
children playing signs,
Mm-hmm.
which some of them I need to take down. There ain't no kids on our road anymore, but still kind of slows them down when the trucks come down.
You know where he's talking about, Seth? Could you take care of that today or tomorrow? Or?
It'll take time to get signed.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to get the sign. Okay.
It could be a while. I mean, I can ask the city if they might have some in stock that we can get put up right away.
Well, soon as you can.
Yeah.
You never commented, Commissioner Steele.
No, I wanted to see what the
Statute.
statute allows. It should be uniform, whatever we're doing.
Yes.
It shouldn't be township and county doing it. That's where I think we're getting into issues. So if we're the ones that are responsible for setting it, then we're the ones setting it. I mean, I guess we could argue about who gets reimbursed. Do we get reimbursed by the township since it occurs on a township road? Or, I'm just asking that question out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's our responsibility,
But it's still on a township road. So we're maintaining stuff on township roads that
Well, we do bridges.
Not all bridges.
We do on townships.
Over
Townships.
what bridges are we're not
All bridges on
Townships.
Sure.
over a certain
Culverts is,
yeah over
Certain
a
size
span.
culvert has to be
Yeah.
a certain
All
size
bridges,
culvert, but
and
all
then-
bridges.
Sure.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I
it
just,
said on that statute that we weren't responsible for that, putting them kind of signs up.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I mean, I can put them up, but I don't think I should be the one to have to buy the signs. I have no trouble putting them up.
well, I think when we get a sign, we'll put up a sign,
All right.
sounds like.
Another question I have, is Seth talked to me last week, and I thought he was gonna come to our meeting, and nobody showed up. But he had questions about Sherman Road, 258th, I think, is what he was questioning me on.
correct. Or the drainage off that is not working, I guess, the way you designed it. And we need to somehow come up with an agreement on that intersection on how we want to drain that correctly.
I thought it's been doing a lot better than it has been.
Well, we had concern from residents on that road about drainage coming onto their property.
Well, the water's supposed to run down that road. He's got problems down there where he goes in as he plugs his tube up. I know who you're talking about, Bob Hannah.
But not only that, but the one on the north side of the road where there's a berm there.
The
that's
berm's
not-
gone,
Okay, that, a lot of that water coming down that ditch line
right?
runs everything into our road.
But it used to take it all the way across the road. Now it runs down the road and just a little bit goes that way. Not like it used to be. They had like I don't know if it's a 12-inch tube or what, that went over to Kilkenny, and I put an 18-inch or a 20-inch tube in to carry that water. Because I mean, every time it rains, I fix that corner. And I don't know what the deal is on the corners of the road, the intersections where they meet. I don't know if them are all my responsibility or what, but I mean, I'm looking at $600-700 every time it rains, we had to clean that corner up. So we spent $4,000 or $5,000, put that tube in there and everything with riprap and ditched it. But that's the way the water's supposed to go, is down the west side of that road. That's what that ditch was there. And, you know, I mean, it needs straightened up. But it hadn't been straightened up for years.
Did you ever consult an engineer on that? Because that's kind of a unique situation where that's at. But our problem is it's dumping stuff out onto our road, and we don't have a policy right now in place that, you know, when a township's doing, you know, work
I didn't
adjacent to
contact
us.
the engineer. We don't have that kind of money.
Well, you have tax dollars. I'm asking, you know, how is it engineered? How did you come up with the way to do it?
I consulted with Marlatts and stuff,
Okay.
and I mean, they're pretty good at what they do. And he was telling me the tube, but I mean, I haven't had really that big a problem with them. There's a little bit of water goes that way, but down here, the rock ain't gonna clear across the road no more.
Well, it looks like
It's
there's.
going down the ditch.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer. I'm just asking.
No, we did not, we did that on our own. I had money left from FEMA, and I've been wanting to fix that road for probably 13 years, because it's been that big a problem.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's slowed it down a bunch. So, I mean, it's gonna take a while for everything to settle down, and keep blading it and shaping it until everything settles. I mean, we have to go down through there every time on the west side, you know, and bring some of that rock back out of the ditch, smooth it up. And
Hmm.
we just did that. Saturday, I had to load her up there in the grader. I mean, it's a lot better than what it was. But I know I got problems with Bob Hannah down there, because he thinks that water don't need to be running clear down there. Well, that's the way the water's supposed to go. I mean, they've got a berm up on his property where he's got a hot wire, barbed wire fence goes down there, and they didn't interfere with that. But then off the road, probably this far, there is a little ditch right through there. And that's where the water, you can see where it's laid the grass down, the water goes that way. His bitch is down there by his tube, it plugs up a little bit and then goes over the top of the road. Well, he needs to clean the tube out.
Greg, I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong, but I'm just gonna make you aware, this is being taped, this is live, so if you're
Okay.
aware of that.
All right. So, I mean,
Okay, why don't we take this under advisement with our county counselor and our road supervisor, then we can get back with Greg, and
Mhm.
because we're gonna be getting into opening the bids here in a minute. And
Okay.
we have a policy where if you're not on agenda, we give you 5 minutes, or
All right.
if we think it's worthy, we'll give you a little bit more, and we give you
All right.
about 10 or 15, so.
And this does need to be addressed one way or
Yes,
another,
yes,
so.
yes.
yeah,
Okay,
it's-
well, I mean, they
it's
were
no
gonna come
problem.
to the meeting and nobody came, so, you know, I thought, well, I'll come up here and find out what it is.
Okay.
But I've already heard through the grapevine, that's the problem. So,
Do you want to say anything, Seth?
Well, I had all intention of getting out there Thursday, but I had a bunch of personal things come up, I couldn't make it, so.
that's all right. I mean, you know, I just thought I'd better come up and find out so I can address it.
All right, sounds good.
I
We
mean, usually
will,
When something addressed to me, I try to take care of it.
okay, fair enough, that's the way it should be.
All righty.
All right, thank you,
guys.
Greg. Uh-huh.
Thanks.
I only need 5 minutes. So the bid letting for 266 Bridge was last week. They did award a contract to a company called WCI Incorporated. That is the bid. It has the actual bid number on it. But our portion will be, I believe, around 96,000. And I need authority to award the contract signed today.
WCI Incorporated? Were they out of?
Paola, Kansas.
And which project is this? This is the,
266 Bridge
Right.
off Sherman.
oh, okay. I know where you're at now, sorry.
So our total cost is gonna be 96,000. They're gonna tear the other one out, put the new one in. What did you have budgeted? You had 100 something, didn't you?
I believe we had 100 something. budgeted.
So we're,
100.
we only had one bid?
No, there was 5 bids. I believe they were the lowest bid.
Okay.
I talked to Swab Eaton. They were comfortable with the company, so
They've
worked
had
with
prior
them.
history with them, so we're not getting half job. Okay. Question, comments, commissioners?
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
Has the contract been prepared? Do you know? Because I've never seen a contract, and so it's authority to award, but that the architect or the engineers prepared the plans and all of that bid back, okay. So
I'd say this is about kind of what you're wanting, but it's not really a contract.
Well,
It'd be a lot more than
no,
that.
it's gonna be the whole bid back.
Yeah.
I was going to say possibly a state signs the contract
And
on that.
that's why we,
So are you saying we should wait till we get the other before we sign off on this, or?
no,
Okay.
it's the, it's KDOT that
Mhm.
does the actual contracting.
Correct.
So,
It's all theirs.
They put it up for bid.
We're just reimbursing KDOT, I believe. It's federal funds. It's a federal funded program administered by KDOT.
I'd entertain a motion. We sign off on project number 3C-4706-01. And the county's cost is $96,000. The total project cost is $434,808.20.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Is there any timeline on this?
I believe it says on one of those sheets an early start date and a late start date.
I want to say early start dates in January and late start date might be May or June.
Week, 10-day project, 2-week project?
10 working days. is what they
Wow.
do.
Uh,
They might stay on there
We
all day.
probably should send a letter to the residents up there in that area that the detour and how they're gonna have to go out and possibly, how long?
Do that, or we can do a code red, social media, everything, county website, also put it in the Globe, maybe on Care Radio. I think that'd be,
Sufficient? Okay.
we can keep,
Do we ever put in the contract, let's say this project's 120 days and it goes a lot longer? Are they penalized financially or?
that's on the state's.
It's
side.
not our
That's-
contract.
no,
I
that's
think
not-
it is, I think that is in the contract,
Okay.
but we don't prepare the contract, so. I think that was in the contract on the,
Doggy Bridge down there.
no,
On it.
that's not the one that I had, we were
Oh.
having the issue. But yes, it has been in the, it was in the other contract that I reviewed. 'Cause the,
Do we have to do any dirt work? County have to do any dirt work? That's all in there. That's all in
The
there.
only thing we are doing, I believe, is removing the metal from the site.
do we have right-of-way acquisition?
Yes.
That's all been completed.
It's done.
We've had that done quite a while.
The Seaboard property, and so everything is good to go. I was just waiting on them to get started, so.
What's your take on the school bus sign? Or do we want to go down that path? Like I said, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but, you know, once you start, it's everybody.
I'm fine with the school bus stop ahead signs, and I guess we probably need to look into further on all road signs on who's gonna maintain what on all township roads. I mean, I don't wanna get into a spot where we need to maintain all of them, cause that, you know, we might as well just take the road over, we're gonna do that, bridges, culverts, I mean, it's,
Exactly.
so, we need to find that line of where we wanna, what we wanna regulate on the roads compared to not, so. There's probably a sign work that needs to be done on township roads, but we've never.
I could give you guys a memo on that for next week if you want that,
Okay.
Okay.
what the law is.
Do you want to stay and
Yeah, I'm gonna sit in this.
hear the bids?
I have,
You have a question, Pauline?
no, I have one, Exchange brought one in.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a bid, or you just?
No,
He's
I'm-
the exchange.
He's Exchange, okay.
It is 1:30.
1:30. We'll go ahead and open the bids up. For the lease purchase or bid. Let's see if he's awake. Put about a percent, take a percent or two off.
Okay. Proposal was for $413,000 and the interest rate was 2.49%. Annual payment of $88,873.64.
88.
763.64.
88.
87364.
And it's for a 5-year.
That was 2.49.
49. You say 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
That is for the 2 trucks and the, pardon me,
Mowing truck.
mowing tractor. And the equipment will be put up for collateral? Or
Yeah, typically. We negotiate with that with them afterwards, but
Oh, okay.
that's what they've used in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to have value to assign to the lease purchase amount. The annual lease purchase amount. That's what it usually consists of. We'll probably need to change this, but that's good until.
Oh,
There's a line that says bid good until 1/22/2016, so we probably need to just get that.
It's probably supposed to be 17, I imagine.
Yes.
It's intended 90 days on.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
And that is our only bid.
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
I'd entertain a motion, we accept the bid from Exchange Bank for the 2 dump trucks and mower tractor, and the annual payment, and the interest rate of 2.49, and the annual payment of $88,873.64 for 5 years.
So move.
Second that.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, sir. Tell Mark and Exchange Bank, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Will you need anything signed to take back, or?
No, not this time.
Okay, okay.
He'll get
All
in
right.
touch with me and we'll.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you. Thanks, Seth. Stacy's not here till 2, so
We got a little bit of time. You want to give us a little rundown of your Northeast Kansas meeting you attended?
Yeah, I think there were probably about 60, 70 officials, possibly top end. There was a speech from the Insurance Commissioner, Ken Seltzer, and we broke up into our groups. After that, we had lunch, so it was, I think we were done pretty much by about 1 o'clock. So, I mean, commission group just talked about any issues that they're dealing with. It seemed like we got stuck on the topic of employee benefits was the biggest thing, but that was pretty much about it. The next one will be in Johnson County next year. There's not a date set, but next year is supposed to be in Johnson County.
Okay. Are we gonna have to go have Jack fill out his portion of this, or do we let Pat fill it out, or you fill it out, or we fill it out?
That is all filled out.
Oh, this is already, I thought we have to say yes or no. We don't have to check nothing?
No, if we don't have a juvenile detention facility,
Well, that's questions you answer if you have a
yeah, if we
detention.
have one, and if you answer yes, then you have to answer the rest of it.
Okay.
And I've already asked Jack, and I've asked Kim, I've asked everybody for answers to the questions that I needed.
Very
We
good.
got membership dues for NACO for $450. Yeah, I didn't think that was optional, was it, NACO?
NACO is the national,
Mhm.
like KAC is the state
Yeah.
level, NACO is national.
Here's what you need for your mouse, maybe. You don't tear out that middle part. And then a mouse pad, it feels like it.
It's magnetic, it might work.
Still not wanting to move
Push
it.
down a little bit harder.
I'll have to see
I don't
if I
even know where
have
it's
one. I
at
think
now.
you need one that kind of grips your,
It's down at the middle of the bottom of the screen. There you're going up. Yeah, it's working.
Very.
paper doesn't work. Paper doesn't work.
I think it's something about right here because when Bill had it, it worked good over there.
I guess Bill gets the control.
Yeah, it works good here. I think there's something about where the location of that means Bill may have to run the computer.
Mm-mm. That's your job, buddy. This is kind of trash, but you want to look at it. That there.
The only
How
thing-
long have we been a member to this, NACO? Quite a while.
Quite a while.
Quite a while, I think.
Anybody need a green calendar? Pauline?
No, I got one over there. Anybody else needs another green calendar? John Deere?
Too rich for my blood.
So do we need a motion to pay this $450, or we just pay it?
For NACO?
Yes.
I guess you can make a motion to, still, to pay the $450 and remain a member.
Okay, I entertain a motion that we pay the $450 to be, and continue being a member of NACO.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Motion carried. Do we have to initial this or any place on here?
No, I got it in there.
Okay. That was in the pack and this is in the pack. That's in the pack.
And
You wanna look at that? You look at that?
I looked at that.
All right. You see, did you see?
Yes, I
That's
see.
it.
I see.
You wanna look at that? I'll look at this.
I have some tax compliant agreement signage sheets. I think I brought in the, tax
Just one place,
compliant.
Jeff?
Is that this
Yeah.
right here? Excuse me?
And if anybody's looked at it or not, or Gilmore and Bell would like, I mean, they were wanting these signed. And it's on the, refinancing of the, 2012 sports complex bond.
Where would we go to get some kind of policy about townships draining water out on county roads or doing something that's unengineered, that was not engineered, then you think other, I'm sure somebody's got a policy in place, especially if you go west, because
Well-
there's more townships, roads and stuff.
There are only 30 counties maybe that are on the township road
Very few.
system, so we're in the minority. State law would cover the drainage. If I can tell you the answer is going to involve the opinion of an engineer. And of course, we don't have an engineer, and neither do any of the townships. Both of them are going to take the position that reasonable engineering says this is perfect or that this is bad. Beyond that, I don't know that I could really say a whole lot. If you want me to research it and give you a memo on that, I could do that for next week as well. But
Well, didn't that used to come down the side of the road, then a tube took it across the road, and that water all went to the north?
I don't know. It's a very difficult situation. I would have probably consulted an engineer because it's very.
Well, I think the bottom line, there's probably more to the story than just the water in the road.
I guess. I mean, the other person we could probably contact is Norm Bowers from KAC. He's always a good resource. He can give you insight as well as state laws and statutes. But you're probably correct on your assessment.
I think I have back in my office an email.
Sure.
Because this was an issue that came up. I don't remember where it was. We went up there. I think you two were on. We went up north and looked at a place, and
John Horton and
Yeah. and I have a file on that. And I know I did some research, and hopefully
That was on a county
Saved
road
it.
though, wasn't it?
yeah,
well, but the drainage issue is going to be the same issue.
Oh, okay.
I think. So
Hankey and Horton.
Oh yeah, West, that's when I first got on there, where they dug the ditch out and the telephone pole was
Yeah,
leaning.
and let's see, Matt was on at that time, I believe, and I think it was just a lack of communication, because we went up there and Hankey said, whatever you need to correct the problem, Mr. Hankey, and corrected the problem. And
I think at that time when I was up there, they had dug that ditch out and it was wet.
they didn't do a
couldn't get-
very good job.
Well, they couldn't level it, they couldn't
Slope it.
or they couldn't.
There was a light pole there, or a telephone
leaning.
pole or something, and yeah.
And I think they went in after we had looked at it, and
Did look
when
at
when it dried out, they leveled
Shaped-
that and
yeah.
shaped it.
Yeah. And I believe they put a road entrance for Mr. Hankey, Mr. Hankey to get to his place.
So Pauline, you say we need signatures on this, or?
Yeah, the chairman.
We've already approved this.
No, we haven't approved that one yet. It's tax compliance agreement.
Did you have a chance to look at this, Mr. Shealy?
yeah, I thought we looked at. Okay,
Or did Pat,
I did. Yes.
I was getting ready to say your name as well.
Yes.
If there are any questions or comments, if not, I entertain a motion. You give the chairman authority to sign off.
So moved.
Second.
Then moving second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Then I think we have time. This is the appreciation for the
Yeah.
response that we had on Friday for the MGP problem.
I just hope that they've got everybody listed. And there'll be a copy. No, there won't be nothing sent to each individual. There'll just be this proclamation that,
Yeah, I think it'd be. Need another email. If anything would be sent to the Globe or anything like that, or put on county website, or get some exposure to this.
That's probably good on the front page. I can give it to Mary. I can give her a copy of it.
I think that would be.
yeah, I think that'd be appropriate.
I can send it to the chair too.
Go ahead and sign.
I'll make a motion. That we sign.
I'll
There's
second.
a second. There's a second. We sign up with proclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. You'll get it to the radio and the Globe and will you put a seal on this or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Sign it, Mr. Eric.
Go get a seal. You want a gold seal or you just want a?
Yeah, that'd spruce it up, make it a little bit better. Our next appointment's at 2 o'clock. There's any subjects either commissioner want to discuss at this point in time? Or do you want to jump ahead and go into old or unfinished business? Or that's basically the same thing.
When Pauline gets back, we could discuss the absent or the write-in
Right.
candidate.
She said she was going to get some information.
She's got some
She's
here,
got-
but I'm not going to pretend to hand it around and look at it until Pauline gets back.
Okay, Pat, is that something, being that's involving a employee or involving two employees, that should be executive session? We're going to discuss the write-in vote. Commissioner Shealy had a question by Mr. Sedich of how we was going to handle it.
The criteria for
Yeah, what was the criteria for a legal vote and one that was not countable or?
I think the answer to that should probably be a reference back to the statutes for him to read those. I don't think you can give any advisory opinion on whether, determining every circumstance, whether you're going to consider this to be a vote or not a vote.
At all, no.
I think the question was like, what are the procedures and policies
yeah, or
on how
or there's-
what the process is?
yeah,
is-
what the
is what.
what currently is there, so we can discuss. So at least we're aware of how that matter is taken.
Yeah, that looks better.
And that would be an open session that doesn't involve a non-elected personnel, as far as I know.
What?
We was talking about on the write-in vote, how. That's what Pauline underlined.
You tried it before? Is this the first time you tried it?
That's the first time they tried that new card. No. Didn't work. They were charged consumers, you know, but
Who's the original counting board? Is that canvassers or is that?
Original?
Yeah, it says if the original counting board fails to produce. Right. So who's on the original counting board?
Each
It'd be my
voted
review board that I appoint that night, for that night.
Okay.
So how are we gonna do it? I don't know how many write-in votes we're gonna have. Let's say like St. Pat's. Will they count those write-in votes? Or will that,
No,
you'll have the final
They'll all
say?
come back up here.
So they don't calculate the write-in votes at the polling sites?
Yeah, that was my question.
Well, do they even have a tally of, like, when they run things through the machine, that there would be X amount of write-ins, so?
It comes off when they print the tape, it'll show how many write-ins, but if somebody doesn't darken the OVA, it won't show on there.
Okay. And that is a question that I said I'd ask before, you know, if they don't put the check mark
And
there.
it states in there that if they really don't have to.
Okay.
It's still the intention of the voter. How the voter, you know,
But they do have to have, if they wanna write in Sheila's name, it can't be down underneath the sheriff. It has to
no,
be,
it
it
has to be under county treasurer.
has to be under county treasurer. Okay.
If it's under sheriff, it'll be counted under the sheriff's.
Should be wrote in for sure.
So is it treated like a provisional? Is that what you're saying?
What?
So you're saying the write-in ballots are all treated as
No, they're
provisionals?
not treated as provisionals. They're run through the machine.
Okay.
And it all comes back here. And the review board goes through and pulls out all the write-ins and counts them.
Okay. And the review board consists of your polling?
People I appoint for that night.
Okay.
So if that oval isn't darkened, it won't kick it out. It won't disqualify it.
No.
Okay.
But what she's saying though is if you run that through the machine, it's only gonna count
Yes.
write-ins if, with the oval darkened.
Yeah.
But there might be more, so it all has to be done manually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I mean, I'm just curious why you don't tabulate those like right there at the polling places and then they send it.
Because there's no counting board, that's all receiving board.
Okay.
I mean, this is a learning process, and
Sure.
I mean, I think it's good to know.
No, the
So
laws
we
all
get,
changed when they went electronic I mean, some counties still do, where they have a counting board and a receiving board.
how would within a machine, how would you do write-ins? Do they actually have a spot that you put a signature in, or I mean, or like write somebody's name, like at
Yeah,
Walmart?
you want a sample? Every ballot at the general has a write-in space
Mhm.
under commissioner,
Mhm.
and then, yeah, they write on that line.
Well, I mean, when a place that's got all electronic,
Oh, electronic. You can type it in. It'll bring up a
spot, and then you go.
like your phone. It'll bring up your, what do you call it? Your typewriter, your board thing with the,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then you type the name in.
That's what I was just a theoretical question, you know, it's like, I never even thought of that, you know, you have a paperless ballot, how you put a write-in, so
Yeah.
it's,
I can show you on Automark. You want to test it?
no.
And so on the review board, is it like bipartisan, or how do you determine that?
No, usually we try to do equals.
Yeah, bipartisan. Yeah.
We try.
Any other questions or comments?
I haven't had a chance to read it.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I wrote down the notes, but she just did.
No, that's fine, I just,
But if there is any questions on the name or anything, I'm gonna more or less tell them to write it separate and it will come to the canvassers. Because you make the final decision, but you know, if there's an I left out of Sheila, somebody might spell her name Sheila, S-H-E-L-A.
I don't think you want to get into any hypotheticals. I think
Just do it
the
as,
standard is the intention of the voter, and
just have them go ahead
and the
Or
standard
have
is
to
the
decide
name
that.
must be written legibly enough and spelled correctly enough
I
to
see
make
that.
the voter's intent clear to the persons counting the ballots. So, I mean, I think that's vague enough, but enough
just,
that, like you say, I think.
I will just tell them to, show them that and,
James or Jim would probably,
well,
could both count. Well, I mean, it's a finding, it's a factual decision to be made by the vote counters, and both of those could rationally be counted.
If it says Mrs. Fielder back on that. That one
Yeah.
is not, I mean, I wouldn't know if it's she.
No, I don't think you could allow like Mrs. Bilderbeck, because how many Mrs. Bilderbecks are there in the county? I mean, that's probably what the voters wanting, but I mean,
It'll
we
come
gotta
to
be
you.
careful too,
You
because
can
there's been
decide.
accusations that there's gonna be a
You're
rigged election.
We've done it before where I've told them that.
Okay, if we're done with that, I guess we're ready for you, Stacy. You wanna come up here to the desk or the table?
We got a new one. Our used oil barrel came back contaminated. Never happened before. In 21 years that I've been there, it's never happened before. It has 4.9 parts per million PCBs in it, which the actual contaminant that's in it is an oil that was in jacks and was in lift stands or transformers. It was banned in 1979. Safety Clean told me. Safety Clean too comes and pumps those out. 4.9 parts per million isn't very much, but it's enough to make the barrel contaminated. We lock the barrel and stop taking, because the more we put in there, the more contaminant we have to suck out of it. It has to be TSCA regulated because it has to be incinerated. It's going to be very costly to clean up. My numbers, I don't have numbers from them yet. We just found out about it. These are my numbers on what he has given me, kind of a guess. You know,
How many gallon barrel is that?
1,000.
It's 1,000, and how full is it?
Probably
Well,
full.
full.
It doesn't
We
make
call
it-
it in when it's approaching full,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not full all the way,
Whoa,
but yeah,
Oh,
it's
gosh.
gonna be very costly.
whoa.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is not a quote from them. These are just my numbers, kind of a guesstimate, because I didn't want to wait till next Tuesday, so I kind of put something together real quick, like to get it up here to you guys. He says he hopes it'll be less than this, but there's no promise that it'll be less. Has to be cleaned up. We have to buy the 55-gallon drums, $76 each drum. Takes about 19 of them for 1,000 gallons. They'll,
Could you buy like used farmer motor oil drums?
Mm-mm.
You
Because
had
it
to-
has to be a certain, I mean,
Oh,
this
certain.
is the EPA stuff here. I've been in contact with the EPA, and anyway, we have to buy the oil barrels, the 55-gallon drums. They'll suck it out, put it in these 55-gallon drums. Then they have to use diesel fuel to clean out the inside of it. Then they have to suck out the diesel fuel. It's also considered contaminant at that point. And then they have to triple rinse it with water, which is also considered contaminant at that point.
Would it be cheaper just to get the oil out and disregard the barrel and get a new barrel?
You still have to dispose of the oil. So
And you still have to dispose of the barrel.
you just still, yeah.
So you'd still have to do all the rinsing and all that?
You still have to do everything because it's
Okay.
contaminant, and you have to incinerate, and that's why it's. I mean, you can see their labor cost is even high because they have to get it. He was out there this morning. He also is testing the lead, which the lead won't change if the lead is high. It won't change the price, but it'll change my standing as an HHW. We will be considered a large quantity generator instead of a small quantity generator, which is just paperwork with the state. It won't change the price. But I would have to do the paperwork if the lead comes out high. He doesn't think it will, but
Mhm.
there's a chance that it might.
Okay, so the process is your tank gets full and you call it in and they come out and they test it before they pump it?
Yes, they test everything before they pump it, yes.
Okay.
Which is a good thing because we didn't contaminate.
The chain of where it would have went.
Mhm.
Now, how often does this happen? I mean, does it get
Oh,
full?
it depends on, I mean, sometimes it's a couple times a year.
Hmm.
It's not real often. We also have a 500-gallon barrel at Effingham. But like I said, they've never, either one of them, ever come back contaminated since I've been there. He said really what this was, it looks just like used oil. Some farmer probably had jugs of it in the back of his barn, cleaned out his barn, brought it down, dumped it out. They didn't even know what they were dumping probably. Looks just like used oil. He said there's no way to know where it came from, who did it, just happened.
Well, or it could have been they knew what they had, they wanted to get rid of it, so they just dumped it in there anyway.
Well,
That's
yeah,
a
but there's no,
possibility.
there wouldn't have been any way for me to know.
Oh, no.
He says, you know, you could test every jug that people bring it in. You know, you change your oil at home. You probably use the one at Effingham, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he said if you tested every one that came in, it's going to be expensive, and it's going to 3 or 4 days on that jug that you brought in and sat there. You know.
Yeah, he would have to set until the test came back, and it'd have to be
You're not
marked
gonna do
and
that on
labeled,
every single
and
person. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could, but that's going to be costly too.
well, are we going to have to look at trying to do something, or
I don't know what you would do. I don't know how you would ever. I would hope to think that it's a one-time deal.
You've been out there for several years, this is a one-time deal, but that's not to say that,
That's not to say it wouldn't happen again.
and I don't know
right?
how
It
we
could
can protect
happen again.
ourselves.
I know it happened in Leavenworth. I called and talked to that gal. She said she's been there 9 years, and she said that it had happened before she came, and they just quit taking used oil.
That was gonna be my next question, is that what we do?
I wouldn't suggest that.
That's
Well,
then
we-
you've got lots of used oil floating around that
Floating
people are
around.
going to do something with.
Yeah, they're gonna
It's
dump it
better.
somewhere.
I'd rather have it here than in the streams or
And,
anywhere else.
You know, it's a bad thing.
That's
that
true.
Roads, ditches. I mean,
21 years it's never happened.
correct.
Not saying it might not be in the barrel in Effingham right now. I don't know. We did close it. We've had to turn a few people away since we closed it Thursday of last
I mean,
week.
at the one here.
Yeah, at the Atchison side, we put a lock on it so they can't put any more in because everything they put in is going to also be contaminated. We're going to have to pay this
Yeah,
to
for
take it
more.
out.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder if there's any kind of small test, of course, that's gonna be time consuming, because they're probably bringing in 5 gallons at a time.
$250 to test the barrel. Is what we pay.
I know, but to
200.
test each oil sample, that would be too time
Like if somebody was
consuming.
going to dump,
I
and
don't know if that would necessarily
Show.
be less. I mean, the test that they only take that much out of it.
you know. So when most of the time when oil comes in, does it come in fairly large quantities, or does it
No,
come
it's
in
just
like
just
a
guy
gallon?
with a couple jugs. Yeah, you know, he changes the oil, or a farmer might change the oil in their equipment and bring it in. And we never have a lot big. We never have a 55-gallon drum or anything like that. You know, it's just.
I did very seldom need it because I put it in my old pickup that burns oil. So I just put the old oil in that.
Do you guys still keep a log, like when somebody
I use
deposits
mine on my
used oil?
lighter chains.
They used to at the old recycling station. You used to have to like sign your name
I very seldom
and
need to
about
take
quantity,
oil.
like you'd have to dump into the tank.
Ours is a full quantity. We chart it. I mean, when it's 1,000 gallons, that's what we chart it as. We don't do it as individual people, no.
And we aren't required to.
Mm-mm.
You know, PCBs are noted, that's bad contaminants. So, like, you know, I think you're right. Having it in the contained stream, so it's not out there contaminating the environment, I think it is a good thing. But wow, it's costly.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, this is just kind of a guess. We kind of really won't know until we're done. The only thing that's for sure is that labor cost. He said that probably isn't going to change. And the PPE probably isn't going to change. But those other numbers could change depending on how much we actually have. Because once we shut them off, you know, it wasn't full clear to the top. It shouldn't be 1,000 gallons, but
Who actually then does this? I mean, as far as decontaminating or
Safety Clean has a company that comes in and does it.
Okay,
yes.
they have their own
Mhm.
company. Okay, I didn't know if this
And-
was.
Once I get it approved and tell them yes, go for it, which we don't have a choice, but, you know, I wasn't gonna do that before I come up here, but it'd be maybe not next week, but possibly the week after. The company comes out of Tulsa. So he said he has 3 next week in Kansas City, Kansas to do, so he didn't know if he could get it in next week or not. It'd take about a day, he said.
Well, this year's about gone. Do you have that much excess in your budget, take care of it,
The
no
only place I have it is in that capital.
improvement?
And I don't know if that's really a capital improvement, but that's the only place I have spare money.
Where you at budget wise for the year?
Pretty much right on. I mean, yeah, I've got 129 in that capital, and there's 51 coming out for those trailers still. You know, those
Mhm.
roll-off trailers.
Is the
We should
capital
be-
under your solid waste account?
Yeah.
What, you can move your
Right.
figures. You can move your figures.
You can come in if you want to, sir.
Well, we really can't do anything until we actually get an actual bid, or is that, or are you looking for authority today, or?
Well, they won't go with it until I tell them to go with it.
Well, we have no choice. to.
Right.
So,
Well, I didn't know whether we actually would sign off on it until we got an actual bid. That's what I was.
Well, these are the numbers he gave me, and I figured it up.
Okay.
He's not going to give me
Sure.
Okay.
a bid because he
And
don't want to be stuck with something and then it comes out a little more. Great if it came out a little less.
there's no company B that could do it.
It has to be them because that's Farrell. That's who it's serviced by.
Okay.
It has to be them.
Okay. Well, I mean, it just
I'm
kind
glad
of.
that they have somebody that does it. You know,
Mhm.
and when I talked to the EPA, there was no. You know, I figured that.
you may ask this person, is there any precaution things that we could take to, or you probably already
I did
have.
ask him that. I
Yeah.
said, is there any way we could have known? Is there something we should have done differently? And there's no way to know. He said the people that brought it in probably didn't even know.
So we'll need a motion to give you authority. Should we put it a little bit more on there? So if it's, I mean, like authority to go up to X amount of dollars in case it's just a little bit more, or what if an actual bid comes back a little bit more? Or that's what I'm saying. Since this is not an actual bid, that's the reason I was asking about. You know,
Would you feel comfortable, or you think you could maybe take half of it out of your budget, and then we'd have to take half out of county general or
It
something?
came out of that capital. I mean, I don't have anywhere else other than that capital.
But you said you had 120, but you got 51 of that
Right.
spent.
Yep. 129 and 51 of it spent. Yes. But this close to the end of the year, I don't have anywhere else.
Mhm. Questions, comments?
You could just do something not to exceed 25,000. And if it's over that, then she needs to come back for approval for the excess amount. That would be my suggestion.
Is that an motion?
You so moved?
and second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We give you authority to go up to 25,000, and I guess we'll discuss later on what account it's gonna come out of.
Who's this to? I mean,
Safety Clean. And that's clean with a K. It's KLEEN.
So you're shut down, taking any oil
Used
for,
oil in Atchison. They can still take it to Effingham.
and they can act upon this pretty quickly once we get the okay.
Yeah, as soon as he had approval, he said he'd put it in, and
Okay.
like I said, maybe not next week, but hopefully the week after. If not. Do you need a copy of that, Roman?
Do you need that?
I got an extra copy.
Okay, I'll just take it. I'm sure Mary will call you.
Yeah, I'm sure she will too. All right, thanks.
Okay,
Thank you, Stacy. Sir, you wanna,
Hi, Eric. I'm Jim Chesser. I called you about the roads on
Oh, yes.
Sunday about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And I'll report that those really troubling spots were corrected so they were no longer a hazard.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been nothing done to correct the chronic situation that we have on our roads where grader ditches are. Pauline's heard this 3 times, I think now. She was out there with the commissioners once or twice, I know, where you have a a chronic problem with the grader ditches not being right, the grading not being right. The water can't get off the road. It runs down the edge of the road. It makes ditches. There's a place at the north side of my farm, 318th Road, which is a township road, where the county grader ditch comes down and the water can't even get over into the culvert to run under the township road. It's right now after being fixed, it's got a ditch there that wide and that deep. And next time it rains, water's gonna run there again. And then usually when it gets past the township road, then it spreads out all over the county road. This is a problem that's been going on for 25 or 30 years, because we had a road superintendent that his only way to fix the roads was to dump another load of rock. He told these grader guys, just smooth up the rocks from grass to grass. There's many places out there where we've got a ditch at the edge of the grass, but if you look closely, you can see the actual original grader ditch anywhere from this far and this far out, towards the field side, where it should be. And we can't have any roads with the water running down the road. There's been times out there that one place where the water run down the edge of the road for a half mile, come down, go around this mailbox, come down, go around this driveway, go down, go around another mailbox, finally turn the corner and get off onto a township road and finally get into a grader ditch. There's another place just west of my house where the water comes down roughly 3/8 of a mile and turns on a county road, turns the corner onto the county road, onto 310 road. They've let the grader ditch plug up and the water cuts a ditch right around that corner as it comes around. There's just miles of that stuff out there that's never been taken care of, and we'll never have any roads until they get some things going. You're old enough to know that they used to go out every spring and fall and shape those shoulders of the road so the water can get off. They quit doing that a number of years ago. We've got the rock, we've got a little grass, we've got a curb of grass, of sod, so the water cannot get off the road. Nobody seems to understand that. And like I said, this is, I think, probably the 4th time I've been before the commissioners. And I know that every time since then, I suffered. Because one time I complained about the grader ditches. So they went up right in front of my house, right flat on top of the hill. We don't need a grader ditch. The yard come right out like that onto the road. They dug a grader ditch, believe you me. And I know that the guy said, damn it, if he wants a grader ditch, he's got a grader ditch now. You could just, because there was no point for a grader ditch. The last time, the grader operator.
Do you know this man? You gotta
We talked on the phone, yeah.
relay to him that this is taped, this is live.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
I just wanted you aware, I'm not telling you what to say, but this is being taped, so,
I don't care.
okay.
I've been fighting this for years. I'm passionate about it. Something needs to be done. And it's not because I want it this way or that way. It's costing the county wrong. If the water runs down a long hill and settles at the bottom of the hill where there's a culvert, but settles in the road, what happens? We get big chuck holes. And in the past, that was fixed by dumping another load of rock on it. And of course, in a few days, that was all thrown out. So, that's just the way it is. So the last time I had the commissioners out there, our grader operator, his wife was our school bus driver. His father-in-law was his boss. And I said, now this is not his fault. It's leadership. He can't do things that his boss won't let him. She didn't speak to me for 6 months after, no, not 6 months, 6 weeks after that. Because it went back and and nothing was fixed, and that's the way it's always been. We're gonna get that son of a gun for squat. And, I mean, I know you've been out there that one day, Jim had you out there. I know you did.
Yeah, I've been out there several times. Matter of fact, us after the last time you called, I was up there that afternoon. It was
You
on a
was.
Sunday afternoon, yes.
Yeah.
And
So-
it was really bad there where the water came out of the old Gaskell bolt factory
Right.
there. That's
Right.
where you had to really,
And that bottom ground, that bottom little over quarter mile south from that
Mhm.
driveway, that at times has been really bad. It used to be that on the east side, every year they would go in and clean out that grade ditch because it fills in, so it would drain. Now, it's filled in, and you go up there, and when you get a rain, well, if we get a big rain like we had the other day, that's bad. I don't
Mhm.
care what you got, that's bad.
yeah.
But there's been times down there's a field entrance on Dave Gaskell's side, and right below that, there's a washout in the road. That's because one year we had a real wet spring, it got to where we'd get a half inch of water, or rain, and it put water all over that road because everything was so saturated. And it just, and these big rains, it takes the gravel off the road. So what do? You have to haul more gravel. And I know it costs money to clean out a grader ditch, but, I guess the guy has to make a choice whether you want to haul rock or clean out grader ditches, but I have not met your
Mhm.
foreman now.
He was here earlier.
Have you had a chance to talk to Seth about this?
I did one of the early ones, and that would have been probably the first time you called me was probably what, July?
Did I call you one other time?
Yeah, you've called me a couple times.
I called once and didn't think I ever got to talk to you, but I wasn't sure. I know I called one night and you didn't answer, and I don't remember. I really honestly don't remember.
I think you
I
had called
maybe
me.
I left a message.
It was either in May because it was during when we had a bunch of rain. So May was a wet,
May or
Hey,
July.
or July.
Yeah,
I left
yeah.
June out, and I was thinking it was July when we had a real, and it was a major heavy rain that we had downpour at that time, and then again here, what had been about 3 weeks ago on a Sunday, and we had another large rain.
We had almost 5 inches of rain one Friday night, and a week later on Saturday night we had another almost 5 inches.
You mentioned it up here 3 weeks, a month ago.
We've had a lot of harder rains out there a couple
Yeah.
times than you have down here.
Yeah.
But I don't know how old this guy is that you've got or anything about it, but, you know, and I'm no expert, I know that. But I am an expert from this standpoint. I've lived on those roads, I've been driving those roads for, believe it or not, 65 years. So I know what's worked and what hasn't worked. And I've seen the roads evolve from good roads to bad roads. So take it for what it's worth, do whatever you want to, just don't penalize me.
Oh, well, there's no intention
I'm
there.
getting tired of that.
No intention of that.
No.
And I've tried to have Seth get those troubled spots because I know a lot of times there when we have a big rain like that, at least for the, I don't know, it's a
Has he
short,
got the
short gap.
experience to realize what the trouble spots are?
Well, it's some of that is the patrolman, some of it is, and I'm not criticizing them, and we have had
Oh, I know.
some. I mean, it goes all
Well,
down through.
John Chalvin and I talked about it a lot, and
Mhm.
he knew a lot of things that needed to be done, but his feeling was that he couldn't do them without permission. You know, and I don't know who you got out there now. I have no idea. I saw him the other day, but I had no idea who it was. So
Okay, his name's Seth Howard. Sometime maybe I can get Seth and we can go up and take a tour.
thank you,
Yeah, you
I
bet.
think
Pauline. I understand this will be the last time for you to hear my welcome, right?
Well, unless you
Unless
come
I
back,
come back
unless you
in
come
real
back
fast.
before January 9th. then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
is the roads that bad, or is it between John and Seth,
Um,
or would you
I-
rather not say?
It's kind of one of those things. Yeah, it's, all of those roads compared to the roads the road I lived on, I thought they were quite good myself.
I was going to say come down and go down Woodson Road, and I think he.
But there were some, especially that one place I talked about where the old Gaskell bolt factory used to be back up in there. there was a ditch across the road this deep, and so if somebody unsuspecting would have
my.
hit that, and it would wreck them. I mean, it was bad. So there were spots, and that's what I was trying to say, that, you know, I did even have called Seth and let him know where these bad spots were that I saw, and to kind of, because there was,
Who's patrolling that road now, do you know?
now it's the Hermert, what's his first,
Kenneth?
he worked for the Effingham Co-op for a while. So, is it Joe Hermert? Lives in Lancaster. Right north of the co-op all across the road.
I don't know.
But I'm sure that's Joe, yeah. And he had been patrolling another area, so this isn't, I mean, he just didn't start patrolling. He had been a patrolman, just in, he took Chalfant's spot when Chalfant quit, so.
Okay, well, you may touch base with Seth and see what we can get done.
Yeah, maybe things will be kind of, I don't know how busy now that they kind of got the chip and seal done and that kind of thing. I get harvest done, maybe I'll have time to grab him someday and just go up there and look at some of that.
Yeah, that'd be your area. Your district.
It's up there kind of by the Brush Creek Cemetery, Gaskell Bolt, west of the lake, and that general area is where he's talking about, 310, 318.
Any county councilor updates?
I don't have anything to report.
Executive session? We was gonna ask, or I was gonna ask, we gotta have that tax sale published, what, 2 weeks or something, so we need to be getting.
There
that-
are 12 out of 130 or so we still need to get service process on.
Okay,
I could email you guys the list if you, but we got to get service on everybody before
you have,
we can take judgment. And as I said, there are 12. I can kick those parcels out of the sale if you want to speed the process up, or we'll need to find them.
Do you know how long? I mean, estimate of time. How long it would take to get those 12 parcels
Well,
served?
Well, one of them,
Yeah,
I don't have, I don't remember the entire list. One of them is on the property, the wind development
Okay.
property.
Well, that's one critical that we really want in
Well,
there.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the parcels that we're having trouble with.
locating them, because I believe I recall that Mr. Goodpasture said he pulled them up and located them like that, so he knows their address unless they've moved.
Well, they have an address listed in the Secretary of State's website, and I don't, at least we weren't able to get service there. Now, that was in Johnson County, I think. I don't know what efforts were made by the sheriff there, but there are, we have 12, I think, left to get service process on.
Well, my opinion is yes, I would love to get them on, but we're gonna have to watch our time too.
Do you need any additional resources that we're not providing to help you?
Yeah, I should give you guys the list, and you can, if you know where to find people.
Okay. I'm just asking if there's
Mhm.
stuff that we're not dedicating enough, resources towards. We're more than willing, I think, probably to work with you to get these,
Sure.
accomplished year in and year out. Maybe just, and I know it hadn't been before your time, it hadn't been a huge priority to get it done, but just keep us in the loop on what you need
Yeah,
for
and
resources. I mean,
some properties may not be bad to kick them out, but that one property that was brought up is a critical one that I would hate to kick it, and it would go another possible 9 months before we could have another.
Another one is actually the bowling alley, and we have service on the people here, but the Small Business Administration is done by certified mail to Washington, D.C., and we mailed it in June, July, The green card hasn't come back one way or the other yet. So we've done a second one, but I don't know if there's something special the way the federal government does that they're not required to sign for them when they get them, that they can sign for them when they process them. But that's another one of the properties that's.
Is this some
involved.
information we can get from the post office? Or are they allowed to give that out?
Oh, I never thought to ask.
Because if there's
I
a
don't
change of address, they would have to be forwarded on.
Well, I would have thought it would have come back, and we got the addresses off of websites and those things
Sheriff's Department, can they be any help with that?
in DC or.
Here.
Oh,
Here?
just, yeah.
I don't think many of the people are in the county, but
Okay.
I'll send you guys the list. I'll send it to
Alright.
you.
But yeah, we'll have to, at some point, whatever that threshold is to still have a sale before the end of the year. I mean, we may have to have a cutoff date.
Yeah, I would sure like to get that property taken care of. I mean, I know there might be a time that we have to call it, but I guess I'm not prepared to yet. But if we could redouble our effort on a couple of those main properties, we could maybe skip or kick some other ones back.
Okay.
I have one question. I have an email from Jamie about the evacuation on Friday. Do you want to put that in the regular minutes?
Yes, it should be that we're gonna,
I think we discussed that with her, I think earlier. I mean,
yeah,
That
but
was
she
in the
wants
workshop.
the minutes
I don't
that
think we necessarily need
we're
to
not
have an
gonna
open
make
session.
the employees take a day off, part of their vacation. We're just gonna go on as if they were here all day.
I don't know if we necessarily need to take official action. Yeah.
But
I said I don't think we need to take any official action on it.
she just wants something in open minutes.
Whether something ought to be placed in the
Well, I was
minutes.
just asking if there should be, because it said it was discussed and decided, so.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
Paul-
I think we're reviewing policy. I mean, it's an unusual event. I think we can all agree on, but
Yeah.
I don't think we need to take any official action on it.
I don't know if it needs to be in, we don't put all communications with employees in the minutes. I mean,
It's fine. I was just curious.
yeah, I mean, it's a good thought. I mean,
You wanna look at it?
No, I'm fine. I think she sent it to us.
I think that's all we have. I'd entertain a motion, we adjourn at 2:30.
So moved.
second?
Been moved and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're officially adjourned.